Remette recently came out with a new model, a gravity knife, the Swordfish, and I had some nitpicks and some negatives, basically some constructive criticism that I thought would make the knife way better. And Remette tends to do very innovative stuff. You know, they don't tend to, to do the same thing every other company is doing. They tend to add their own unique features, unique locking systems, unique whatever, and that's very innovative, and I love to see that. And for a company to take constructive criticism and apply it right away to improve their design or their knife, it is massive. That is such a huge thing, because a lot of companies, one, don't take constructive criticism very well, but two, a lot of times don't even apply it. You know, you could complain about the jimping, you can complain about whatever, and they just never do anything about it. The clip, the whatever. So in this case, the model, in my opinion, had too slick of jimping. It just wasn't grippy enough. Now it's very grippy. So now it actually grips you back when you push the button. That is a huge thing with this knife, because I felt like I was constantly slipping. Another thing, they added a pocket clip, which to me was almost a deal breaker, if not a deal breaker, just because I like to carry, you know, on a pocket clip. Also, you can flip this blade either direction. So it's very easy to do. You can very easily take this thing apart by taking off the clip screws and these two screws. The plate will pop off, and the blade has a little plate screwed to it, and that goes into a groove and just slides up and down. The mechanism is actually I'm not gonna say pretty simple, but it's very easy to maintain, very easy to take apart. Like if you drop this thing in mud, you could literally clean this and maintain this thing in like a matter of 60 seconds. Especially once you understand, you know, the parts, because, you know, it's like I said, it's so easy to deal with. Now, one thing I really like, and I thought was really cool, is that these wings that you see popping out when I do that, because that's how it's basically working. These hold the blade in, and then when you put pressure on the button, it spreads the wings, and now the blade can slide out. Then when you let it go, this has a flat surface right here. It goes underneath two flat surfaces on the blade, which allows the block to be just a flat surface on a flat surface, which theoretically should be pretty damn strong, because there's, you know, it's not like an angle where something can slip. It's literally a flat surface and a flat surface, which I think is pretty cool. Now you got to make sure it's locked all the way open, you know, for that to apply, but it's, you know, it's pretty cool. Now, with the way it works, you know, having, you know, the two flat surfaces in the wings, one thing I would be worried about is these pulling apart, but you can't pull them apart. Like even when I had to take them apart, you can't spread these wings. You have to push the button to do it, which I think is very cool. Whether or not it's just the way the mechanism works, or whether it's just you have to do so much power that it's just hard, I can't do it whatsoever, and I've tried multiple times. So that's a little encouraging, you know, when, see, it wasn't locked all the way open. That's a little encouraging when, you know, using the knife, that, you know, you theoretically, like I said, I can't promise anything, so, you know, don't, you know, take what I said and go start batoning with it or anything. But as far as, you know, a pretty simple locking system, it seems to be pretty tough. Then, you know, we have an M390 blade, obviously a couple different blade shapes. There's also a DLC version, which is gorgeous, a beautiful DLC version. I freaking love that one. And obviously lots of different versions. But the two blade shapes, you got the clip point Tonto in M390 and the regular clip point in M390. Then you have a titanium handle with really cool machining. Like if you look at these two textures, look at this. So you have this texture, and then you have this texture. And this is machined, so you can feel it. Then you have the traction or jimping on the lock, you know, which is the wings. You have the traction on the button, and then these on the side. And because it is the type of knife it is, it's very, blade to handle ratio is great, you know, because the blade fits inside the handle. So it's really cool having a system, a knife so compact like this, because it's so ergonomic. This is a knife that is just super comfortable in the hand, in basically every single grip, no matter if it's the forward grip, the reverse grip, the gas station knife fighting grip, doesn't matter. Great balance. So that one, it works really well for carry, right? But also, you know, because it's a, you know, a nice compact system, you know, there's no, you know, it's not really wide, you know, it's pretty narrow. But it also helps it with general use. You know, when you're slicing with it, cutting with it, doing whatever with it, when you have a handle like this, it makes it to where you, it's for, at least for me, this is my favorite type of handle, is one that's going to be basically a neutral grip to where you can use it in any direction. And it also will make for better cutting because, you know, the blade and the handle just work together really well, and it feels very natural. Now, it does come with this leather sheath. I personally wouldn't use it, but to each their own. I'm sure some people might want to carry it in their pocket like this. And if you want to, you have the option because it does come with the knife. I personally wouldn't. I personally just carry it by the clip. But maybe if you're putting it in a bag or something like that. Now, and if you do want to oil it or maintain it or whatever, I would recommend using Rem oil or WD-40. Don't use like a KPL, you know, don't use a regular knife oil. Use, you know, a dry lube, like I said, like WD-40 or like a Rem oil or something like that. And, you know, if you do spray WD-40 in there, it will, you know, be all over the place. But luckily, like I said, you can easily take it apart and wipe it down. And it's so fast to do. So as far as the action goes, you do have to get used to it a little bit. And what I mean is that when you're just doing this, yeah, that's pretty easy to do, right? In, out, in, out, you're just using gravity. But when you swing it like that, you have to hold the button down until the blade's all the way out and then let it go. So if you let it go early, it will jam up like that. Not jam, but, you know, it'll stop the blade. So you want to basically hold the button, swing it out, wait till you hear that click, and then that's when you let it go. Now, it is easy once you get used to it. But the first few times, you know, you're going to jam it up a little bit, but like it really quickly, you'll get it down. And, you know, it's fidgety, you know, it's very simple, very easy to use, very straightforward, yet very innovative. And I love that. The sound is cool. The spring tension is a good amount of tension. So I wouldn't say it's light. I wouldn't say it's super strong. Luckily, there's texture on the button now. So now it doesn't feel as strong as it used to. You know, even though I'm sure the tension is still just the same. But, you know, it was just slippery before. So it was, you know, it felt like the tension was a little bit too strong for the amount of texture you had. Yeah, man, this is a pretty cool knife. And like I said, Remette, man, they are doing innovative stuff constantly. When you're a company that just does the same thing that's been done a million times, that's obviously much easier than making your own stuff up. And Remette is doing that over and over and over. They are basically, it almost seems like everything they do, they have to do something unique, interesting, or different. And I like that. I love seeing innovation. I love seeing, you know, you could say new technology or whatever, when it's applied to knives. Because, you know, obviously, you know, it's a knife channel, so we love knives here. But, you know, it's cool to see so many different ways. You know, you would think that you would run out. You would think that like there's only so many things you could do with a knife. Yeah, you would think that, but there are so many new designs, new mechanisms, new locking systems, new ways to build them. And new steels and so on and so on and so on. So it's awesome when a company, like, that's what they do. You know, that's Remette. Remette is a company that tends to stand out because of that. And since I'm somebody who likes seeing that, and, you know, I think a lot of knife collectors or knife guys are going to be that way. You're going to want the new and the awesome, but also the interesting, the unique, the different. And yeah, Remette, man, they're just constantly doing new stuff that nobody has done, or their own spin on things. So, I like the Swordfish. I think it's a pretty cool knife. I know right now gravity knives are pretty popular. So, and they are kind of a cool way to have a knife. One, because they are so easy functionality wise, and such a simple concept. However, they also lead to a great package for use and carry. So, you know, there is a lot of really cool things about a gravity knife. Now, the legality, that's going to be on you and where you're at. I don't know, your issues or how it's going to go with you in the law, but they tend to be illegal in a lot of areas. So consider that and check your local knife laws. You know, hey, I'm not telling you what to do. You do whatever you want, but they do tend to be illegal to carry in some places, especially like, you know, big cities and things like that. But, you know, hey, hopefully we can get that switched, because what the hell is this thing? Why would this be any more dangerous than anything else or whatever? It's just a scare tactic. So I'm not sure why the flanges stick out of this one more than the other ones do. Do you see how they sit closed? This one kind of sits out. Now, nothing is different though. I mean, it functions the same, you know. I'm not 100% sure. So after the video, I'm going to take it apart and see what's going on or why that is. Maybe it's supposed to be, I don't know. Or maybe, you know, I did something. So I'll find out. But like I said, right now, there's no functional difference. It just, I can see them sticking out and not closing. But the blade doesn't like slide out or anything. So I don't know. I'll find out after the video. Anyways, I really like gravity knives. I think they're really awesome, and I'm excited to see, you know, other designs in the future, or you know, the evolution of the gravity knife, because technically they have been around since like World War I or something. They were originally for what was it, paratroopers, you know, when they would come out of the sky with their parachutes. Sometimes they get caught up in trees, and this was a way to get themselves, you know, out of a crappy situation, you know, that you might be tangled up in, because having a knife on you can definitely save your life, you know, when you're wrapped up with strings and ropes and stuff. Anyways, how they wound up making them seem so dangerous. I know everybody says, oh, well, it's because of the concealability and all that. And it's like, that goes for any knife. What are we talking about? Like, that's dumb. But I like gravity knives. I think they're damn cool. And, you know, I love seeing, you know, new versions come out and different versions. Anyways, I do have a lot of content very similar to this and a lot of other EDC related content. So if you like this type of content, I'll put some cards up on the screen for you to click on. Work hard, stay tough. Until next time, peace.